Mr. Smith?
Yes, Mr. Begley, members of the board, we do have several items for board discussion this evening. Our first item for discussion is our book study. This evening, we are covering pages 57 through 132. Our prompts are always I read, I noticed, and I wondered.
I'll be happy to lead us out. And chapter 3 talked about leaders. You don't have to be a leader. You don't have to have a leadership title to be a leader. You just have to lead, right? And that's on page 59. And then again on 95. Educators who have remained positive over the years have figured out that they are happier when they own their own morale rather than depend on others or place blame somewhere else for their attitude. Those who expect excellence believe they don't have to have a title in front of their name to be a leader, right? Both of these comments bring me to the Golden Apple Awards that we give every year, right? And those are a recognition for many attributes beyond just leadership, but certainly that is one of them, right? Those recipients aren't necessarily leaders by title, but they certainly become leaders within our buildings and within our district. And so on several different occasions as I read that, I thought about our Golden Apple recipients.
On page 58, there was a section there where a card was passed. It says, "I was the first one to show up at Ben's home with a card in hand. He opened it up, and opened up the card, and with a big smile came over his face. Inside his graduation card, I had placed a note that he had written the past fall, promising me he would not let me down. In his card, I simply wrote, 'Thanks for giving me hope and continuing believing in Ben's world.' With that, he gave me a big hug and thanked me for believing in him." So that goes along with what we talked about, lifting others up, and I think in the first couple chapters, lifting them up so that they believe in themselves, so they can do what they maybe don't believe they can do, but they can be aware of what is out there for them to do. And you just need somebody to believe in you. I know the presentation we had at the freshman building a couple weeks ago, You Make a Difference, that was a big portion of that, where a student says, this teacher, this coach, this bus driver, this cafeteria person, whoever it was, believed in me, said hi to me, which gave them hope to do more. And that's kind of what that sentence stood out to me, or that paragraph there stood out to me to say. Give kids hope. Because we are more than leaders.
On pages 65 and 66, they talk about leaders do the simple things. And I tell you, some of these I don't think are necessarily all that simple, but, in the grand scheme of things, probably. But one of the last simple thing was to build a resume of failures. And it says, every student should be required to submit their resume of failures throughout their school experience and then share it for others to see. In fact, so should the adults. And that reminded me, several years ago, I saw, it was like an inspirational quote or something, and it said, "Climb on top of your mountain of failures if you want to see the breathtaking view of hope." Mm-hmm. And that stuck with me. And so every time I feel like I have like a personal failure or something, I'm like, I can see the hope ahead, And we had the Hope Squad here tonight, so then, of course, that brought that back to my mind too. But I thought that was interesting, like a lot of successful people, if you talk to them, they had all these little failures on their way there. So it's not like everything is, rose-colored glasses all the way. You run into, you stumble, you fall, you pick yourself back up, and you move on. So that really stuck with me.
Another bullet point there was embrace your vulnerability, and that was a big point in one of the prior books we read, right? And again, there it is, the importance of, I think, vulnerability makes you accessible to others, right? Opens the door to communication, to a whole number of things, and so There's that key point again.
One of the things that I read that impacted me so much is on page 67, and it says, "It doesn't cost a penny to reach out and greet somebody with a friendly smile, to strive to lift somebody's spirit with a sincere compliment, support others with a heartfelt hug, or jolt those who are in dire strait with a blast of positive energy to help them get through the rest of their day." I have a personal mission every day to enlighten 3 people's lives, whether that's a compliment, how are you, when I see that they are passing me in the workplace with like a solemn look because they just got out of a bad meeting. That is a personal goal of mine, to like better 3 people's lives every day, whether it's just a simple thoughtful gesture or compliment. And so like it really hones in that, like, it doesn't cost me anything to do those things and those small gestures. And you have no idea how that impacts somebody's day and how much that can mean to them.
Absolutely.
That's good. That's good. Kind of go along with that on 99, it's in the bold. Never stop being positive because of negative people. Never stop being excellent because of average people. Never stop being a believer because of doubters. And then watch how your life starts to change. So that kind of goes along with what you said. The positive impact can make a big difference.
Page or 2 after that talks about don't be an awfulizer,
Yes.
be an awesomizer. Along those same lines. Other thoughts?
Well, it's my first time doing this, so I realized I should have went first. Because I highlighted page 59.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a leader in leadership to be a leader. I guess I also need to highlight more than one, huh? The Hope Squad is perfect for that. They're not actually leaders in the school, but people look up to them as leaders. That's a perfect example of them being here tonight.
It is. Well put. Other thoughts?
I also like the comparison that he made regarding like balance versus life fit, because you hear work-life balance. You hear that a lot. But I liked how he differentiated that and life fit, because at different stages of life, different styles fit you. If you have young kids, life looks a lot different than before you had kids. And so I really found that very interesting, how he termed it life fit instead of a balance between your work and your life.
Said the mother of a young child.
Yes. Yeah.
Understood.
Mr. Begg, I have one last comment, then I'll let others. And Billy, I think this attests to all of our teachers and admin and the whole school. Refresh your mindset so you see the role of a teacher or a principal as a way of life, not just a job title. And I think that identifies our teachers to a T. And the passion for the kids, and it's more than just a title. That's their life.
Same thing, chapter 4 talks about carrying the banner, right? Carrying the banner. They are committed to carrying the banner for their school community, always believing they can make a positive impact on everyone they meet, right? Billy, you do an excellent job of carrying the banner.
So, funny you should say that as a lead-in. So, I have 3, I highlight way too much, but
Got
all
a lot of
mine-
words written on that page,
I know,
too.
and I
You
made
could've gave
notes
me
up
one.
to
Have
the
a yellow
side.
page.
This is
Yeah, you
me.
could have gave me
Wow.
one, Billy.
This is all on the page. But every single one of my Post-it notes is about carrying the banner. And that really resonates with me. And I think you can apply, and you've already, several of you have touched on my favorite page, which is 98 already. And you can apply that to any workplace, not just in a school, but it talks about when you work in a school, and you can label it any office or any place of employment that has a reputation for being challenging. It's easy to fall into the trap of talking negatively about the school, the community, the staff, the students, or any other available contributing factor. And then it talks about that awfulizing. You'll recognize that by their habit of complaining about students, colleagues, parents, lack of resources, administration, mandates, so on and so forth, and just the power of positivity. And I've often said to our administrators, and I often recognize for everyone in the district, the jobs just continue to get harder. every single year. And I usually say that at opening day. I acknowledge that. But we cannot wear that on our sleeves. Because what does that say? You know, if we wear that on our sleeves, then that's what they begin to see about our schools. If we wear that on our sleeves and how hard it is and how difficult it is and all the problems that we face, that's what we become. And so it's so important to carry the banner. We need more people to carry the banner who, sense of honor, great regard for the schools and districts in which they serve, and it shows in their words and actions. They understand their work isn't about them, it's about the students and their families, their colleagues, and the communities in which they serve. They speak passionately and positively about their school community, illuminating it in every conversation at every opportunity. That is carrying the banner, and we need more people to carry the banner. I love that. So, thank you for that lead-in, Mr. Baker.
There you go. Anyone else? All right, well, we will finish the book in April. We'll be back second meeting in April to finish the book. Great, enjoy reading.
All right, our next item for board discussion, Student Wellness and Success Funds. At this time, I will turn it over to Mr. Crapo.
All right, thank you, Mr. Smith. For many years now, we have received student wellness and success funds from the state that go directly towards services that impact the wellness and success of our students. New this year, we must share how we plan to use those funds with the Board of Education. A portion of the funds that have been received will go to support the cost of students that are placed at the Warren County Wellness Center. This is a school-based day treatment program that is the most intensive non-residential program that can be provided over an extended period of time to our students. They provide access to mental health services in conjunction with and integrated with the child's social, emotional, and educational programming. Another portion of the funds are going to support our students at the Warren County Learning Center. The program collaborates with school districts to meet the needs of students that present intensive mental health services that require specialized and focused interventions and supports. The Learning Center will provide service to our students and families which emphasizes mental and psychiatric health, speech and language pathology, emotional regulation, behavioral coaching, physical therapy, occupational therapy, nursing, and mindfulness. Students at the Learning Center receive both individual and group-based therapy from licensed mental health therapists. We'll also use the funds to support our Success Program with the Butler County ESC. The goal of the Success Program is to help families overcome non-cognitive barriers so that children can be successful in school. School liaisons are assigned to specific school district buildings and help struggling students and families across to access resources to meet their needs. Common examples are food, clothing, housing, medical, dental, navigation of public benefits, mental health treatment, and school supplies. However, the liaisons attempt to meet any need that a family may have. And finally, the funds received will go to support our SRO program. We partner with the Fairfield City Police Department to staff 4 full-time SROs in our school. The goal is to help with crime prevention, provide an added layer of security, mentor and develop youth, and train school staff and student body on school safety. This concludes the description of our plans for the use of student success and wellness funds. Again, we have received these funds for many years. The difference now is we have to present the plan. So, questions?
Questions? You laid it all out in an email as well to us, so thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, our last item for board discussion, Program of Studies. At this time, I'll turn it over to Ms. Saul.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Bagley, members of the board, tonight I want to share information about the middle school and high school programs of study. The program of studies contains important information regarding course offerings and other relevant academic program information that students and parents use in order to schedule courses for the upcoming academic year. 2 years ago, we moved the program of studies online, so there is a link to that site in your board packet, and I also sent it to you in an email earlier this week as well. There are not typically very many changes from year to year, and it's no different this year. I just want to highlight a few things. First of all, the addition of 6 College Credit Plus opportunities that will be offered here on the high school campus. Those courses will be a Spanish course, 2 ASL courses, an additional French course. We already have 1 CCP French course. We're adding another. We're also adding a quantitative reasoning course for math that will be an Algebra 2 equivalent, and a sociology course. So those are the CCP courses that we're adding. In the Butler Tech realm, Butler Tech has expanded the business pathway by adding a business capstone. That will be a year 4 offering for students. Butler Tech Career Pathways class will also contain the Rise Up curriculum, which will allow students to earn a 12-point industry credential that they can use to fulfill a graduation requirement. So even though we've had Career Pathways in the past, this is a tweak to the content of that course to include that industry credential. And then the Fairfield Freshman School will add additional personal finance sections for students to fulfill that state requirement earlier in their high school career. This is the first year that we have had the personal finance requirement from the state, and it was those sections that the freshman school filled up, and so we want to expand those offerings for our 9th grade students next year. So the addition of the on-site CCP courses and Rise Up are not only great opportunities for students as they prepare for graduation, but these additions will hopefully help us on a new report card indicator called the College, Career, Military, and Workforce Readiness Component. It's a mouthful. We could get rated on this component as early as the 24-25 school year. We haven't had a final word on that yet. So we were intentional this year about looking for some opportunities to expand in some of those areas. We are thrilled with these additions and are thankful to our teachers who have stepped up to teach these courses, and thankful for our partnership with Butler Tech, which allowed us to expand to offer that Rise Up industry credential. The program of studies will be on the board agenda for approval at our next meeting. Happy to answer any questions right now, or you can call me or email me over the next couple of weeks because I know it's such a big document. And there's a lot of information in there. So that concludes my item for board discussion.
Thank you. Any questions? I appreciate you mentioning the financial piece. I think that financial literacy is, I'm a huge proponent of it, and I'm glad it's a graduation requirement. It's a part of our curriculum.
Yeah, and we do still teach the financial literacy standards in our government classes as well. And then on top of that, the students now have the full semester of personal finance that they are required to take. So, agreed, very important life skill.
Great, thank you. Okay.